You are now listening to the J Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay.
Yo, what is the word, people? Welcome to another edition of the J Porks Experience. I'm J Porks. With me, as always, on the other side of the glass, making sure this is a well-oiled podcast machine every week, is nobody. I've got a couple of things to get to today, a couple of things involving a certain popular music festival in California. But first, we're going to go over the list of websites you need to go to help keep me in business. First of all, it's concertconfessions.com. It's where all your live music news and reviews, for fans, by fans, can be found. You go there, you check out the As Seen on TV, which is coming back in 2014 as soon as some band who I give a crap about goes on TV. That's coming back. And when you're there, you can scroll along the side and click the Amazon ads and buy stuff, because it doesn't need to be a holiday for you to be buying people stuff. You gotta buy stuff anyway. Might as well buy it there. You're gonna go to ChristinaRocks.com. That's for Hang the DJ. She hosts the Time Warp on Sunday mornings, 89X, in Detroit, and broadcast streamed worldwide. I used to say that I would listen to that show if I had a job. I may or may not have Sunday mornings open now. More on that in a little while. I need you to go to theandydeershow.com. That's for all your podcasting needs. That's for my show. And don't be selfish. Listen to the Tyler Cale Show. Listen to the flagship show, The Andy Deer Show. Listen to Smooth Operators with Tyler and Andy. And, any other podcast that may or may not end up on the Deer Network, hosted by another person. Hint, I may know something, I may not. And of course I need to go to anniequiet.com. That's your source for quality. There's a lot of new stuff going on at Annie Quiet right now. Queens of the Stone Age planning a new album. King Buzzo of the Melvins lists bands that quote-unquote blew it. The Paramore and Fall Out Boy announcing a co-headlining summer tour. Drive-By Trucker Storm back with Paul Lee and Hawkins announced tour. You could stream the new Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings album. John Frusciante and Omar Rodriguez Lopez team up for yet another freak-out band, Kimono Cult. And you could hear the new 8mm, 8mm, I'm going to assume, song that's on the I, Frankenstein soundtrack. Also, astronauts have a DJ in space, and you could read the list of the things they listen to. But first, we're going with the main story. The main story is the Coachella announcement that came Thursday night. I'll break it down for you. Thursday night, I get out of work, walk into the train station, scroll in Twitter, and I see that one of these K-Rock DJs, K-R-O-Q in California, says, I have the Coachella lineup. I am going to announce it soon. So we all sat. I sat by my timeline, and I kept refreshing, and I kept waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and I tweeted some things, like let's all get mad at the Coachella lineup before it happens. And then some stuff started coming out. The headliners are going to be Outkast, Arcade Fire, and Muse. I don't know what do you think about that? Because honestly, here's what I think. I think this whole Outkast reunion shit has gone a little too far. They got a good couple of songs, and bands are allowed to exist having a couple of songs, and they're allowed to be popular. But this whole Outkast is getting back together There are too many white people listening to hip hop. There are way too many white people listening to hip hop, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop right away. Outkast, Andre 3000, and Big Boy. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. But besides that and Hey Ya, I don't know any of the songs by you guys. Some other notable acts on Friday, April 11th and 18th, because Coachella now is 2 weekends. It used to be 1 weekend, now it's 2. It's in Indio, California. It's in the desert. It is in the hottest part of the desert, and I've heard, there are some war stories, man. In fact, if you go to, and I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna put a link up on the show notes. But you can read Reverend Justito's from Content Confessions. You could read his Coachella Music and Arts Festival 2012 experience. And I'm just looking through the list of bands he saw on April 14th, 2012. And it's just crazy. So Kasabian, Childish Gambino, Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, Zed's Dead, Firehouse, The Head and the Heart, The Buzzcocks, Kaiser Chiefs, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, St. Vincent minus David Byrne, Squeeze, Pulling Muscles for Michelle, yes, Kasabian, Flying Lotus, Godspeed You, Black Emperor. Why do they have the exclamation point there? That's all I want to know. And Radiohead. And you can read, I'm going to put links to day 1, 2, and 3 that you can check out, because if you want to get a feel, I mean, I've never gotten a feel for what, I've never been to California, so I've never been to Coachella. I can't make fun of it personally. I can only make fun of the things I've heard. But if you read Reverend Justito's it's very large. If you read his write up here, you get a full. This will bring you the closest you're gonna get to it. He's not using big words. Like, a lot of times, you open up reviews and stuff, and you open up things you're gonna read about your favorite band, and the writers are so damn pretentious, and they make it way more complicated than the music. Just a couple of sentences. Justito knows that I read his stuff, so he kept it simple for me, which is good. So we got Outkast, we got Muse, we got Arcade Fire. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, respectively. Now, on the Friday, Outkast, preceding Outkast is The Knife, The Replacements, Broken Bells, Zed, Girl Talk, Ela Goulding, Chromeo, Haim, Neko Case, AFI. Is it that Hey Miss Murder? I love that song. The Glitch Mob, the Afghan Wigs. Those are the first 2 lines of your Friday. There are some acts down in the small letters that I need to make the pick bigger, like the John Spencer Blues Explosion, and Kate Nash, and ZZ Ward is cool. ZZ Ward is hot and she's cool. I'm not saying ZZ Ward's the best musician in the world, but she is pretty cool, and I would definitely check her out at Coachella if I was stuck in the desert. Y Oak, Anti-Flag, Flatbush Zombies, these are all for your Friday. Saturday is where it gets tricky. Saturday it gets really tricky. Because Saturday you have Muse headlining. Great. Southern California loves Muse. I know that. Everybody knows that. But preceding them is Queens of the Stone Age, arguably the hottest band this year. Released a new album that's pretty close to perfect. Quote, have enough songs laying around for a new album. They are gonna shut shit down on Saturday, April 12th and 19th. Why are they not headlining? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Pardon me as I replenish myself, because I've been told that I'm sick. My throat is scratchy. But I don't, but I feel fine, even if it's the end of the world as we know Alright, so before Queens of the Stone Age, you're gonna have Skrillex, Pharrell, Lordy. Lordy is probably the most popular 15-year-old girl I've ever heard of in my life. She's rocking first line Saturday on the Coachella lineup. Force of the People, Pet Shop Boys, MGMT, Empire of the Sun, Fatboy Slim. Fatboy Slim's another guy who the fuck cares? I mean, him and Outkast should go on a tour of white suburban America and play a bunch of oxygen bars and serve a bunch of white people. Fatboy Slim. Nas. See, now Nas is second line on Saturday in the small print? Why? Did I say Pharrell? Pharrell Williams is going to be there. Not Nerd. Pharrell. Kid Cudi? The Head and the Heart? Sleigh Bells? Cage the Elephant? Cage the Elephant got to the third line. You guys know how these festival posters look. You guys know the Coachella. There's always a set poster that it looks like, and it's always set up in the same way, and the font gets smaller as the lines go down. I will have a picture in the notes, never fear. Sleigh Bells, Kid Cudi. Cage the Elephant. Put out an album that was freaking incredible. They can't even take Lordy's spot. You think Lordy's fans are gonna be up that late? What time is she gonna go on? Like 10 o'clock? The Naked and Famous. I got a buddy Flo who lives in this city who would die if he heard that The Naked and... Well, he probably saw that The Naked and Famous were playing. The Naked and Famous. What else we got? Warpaint? Bombay Bicycle Club? Holy Ghost? As I look at the, is that the Dismemberment Plan? Wow, that they are in such small font. You know, I like White Lies. Foxygen. What is Foxygen? Didn't they break up? Sunday's where it gets tricky. Sunday, April 13th and 20th. You're going to have the clusterfuck of Arcade Fire. First of all, the desert. How are you going to feel in the desert wearing a fucking suit? Because, remember, Arcade Fire want you to dress formally to their shows. Yes, I know it's totally not serious. I know that when the band was asked about it, they said that it is totally a joke and it is not serious. Don't make suggestions. Don't write checks. Don't suggest dollar amounts that your checkbook can't cash. You said it. People believed you. Don't backtrack. So you can have Arcade Fire and a bunch of people in suits, followed by Beck, who I hear is going to play the music for you. He is not going to give you a song reader thing for you to play the music. I promise. I am pretty sure he's playing the music for you. Calvin Harris. Neutral Milk Hotel. Disclosure. Everyone is riding Disclosure this year. Even Noel Gallagher loves Disclosure. Lana Del Rey. You know, up until about a year ago, I thought Lana Del Rey was an airport. True story. That person makes music? Okay. Preceding Lana Del Rey is Motorhead. You know, because who doesn't put you in the mood for Lana Del Rey more than Lemmy Kilmister singing Eight of Spades? I was reading some, I think it was Spin, where he said he sings the wrong lyrics. He sings Eight of Spades, and he thinks it's funny. I think it's funny. I think it's funny that he thinks it's funny. Duck Sauce, Little Dragon, Beady Eye, Flostradamus. See, Sunday gets bad really fast. I'm only at the second line. Okay, Beady Eye. Okay. Guess I am sick. Chance the Rapper. Starfucker. Preservation Hall Jazz Band. Classics. Frank Turner. Aluna George, Fishbone, Fishbone, all the way that small. The 1975. Couple more I never heard of. Not that I haven't heard of, but. And plus a wide array of large-scale art installations featuring the Do Lab and Lucent Dozier. So that is going down at the Empire Polo Club, Indio, California, Friday, April 11th to the April 13th, and Friday, April 18th to April 20th. Yeah, we got nothing here. I got no. In the past couple of years, there's been like the Violent Femmes got together at 2013s. Yeah, I know. Outkast is the big thing here. But what about those of us who like music that is good? What about that? I mean, why is the best band here not headlining? In other news, not in other news, in the same news, I would enjoy Saturday. Saturday, I would end my day with Queen. You know what? I would even stick around for Muse because, as much as I'm saying Muse doesn't deserve to headline there, that doesn't mean makes bad music. I don't think they do. I like Supermassive Black Hole, and I like a lot of their other songs. It just seems like they try a little hard. But on Saturday, I would enjoy Queens of the Stone Age. I would enjoy Muse. But before that, I would take in Pharrell because I saw Pharrell with Nerd open for the Gorillaz, 2011, I believe, at Madison Square Garden. It was awesome. Actually, Lou Reed was in the building that day too, which I just realized could have came in handy for my R.I.P. Lou Reed episode. Well, it wasn't an R.I.P. Lou Reed episode. It was more of a mention. I was interviewing Christina Rocks that day. I would enjoy Pharrell. I would check out Foster the People live. I would check out the Pet Shop Boys. I would rock out with MGMT. Shit, I would be with Cage the Elephant. And that band Churches with a V is playing too. Is that Churches or Churches? Dylan Francis? People love Dylan Francis. Yeah, Saturday would be fun. That's Sunday. You get Motorhead, you get Beck. You enjoy the one good Beady Eye song. And besides Neutral Milk Hotel and Disclosure, you're pretty much fucked. Arcade Fire. I mean, not. I can't wait to see these people passing out in suits in the desert. But anyway, so the podcast is sort of new. So you guys don't know my crazy addictions, and that one of them is every year around this time. It's January, and every year around this time, when I start sensing that my W-2 is gonna come, I start thinking about going to California. I say, you know what? I'm gonna buy a plane ticket. I'm gonna go to California, and I'm never gonna come back. Maybe the never coming back part isn't true, but a couple of years ago, it was actually in 2012, I was thinking about, let me go to Coachella. Is Coachella a thing I want to do? Now they say it's a must experience for all music lovers, music festival goers. That may be true, but all I know is that a ticket to Coachella would really make my trip to California a lot more expensive than I anticipated. And here's the thing. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Party Pooper, Mr. Wimp. I am from the city after all. Greatest city in the world. But I heard that they have shower trucks. You know, I'm really not about that life. I'll be honest with you. I am not about the camping out life. At day's end, I need to get a real shower. I need to get a real nap in a real bed. That's why I enjoyed when there was a festival in Atlantic City surrounded by hotels. In Indio, California, you either rent a house in the desert, which, I am not in that tax bracket, or you camp out. You go sleep in your car or something, I guess. So you basically sit in your own filth for the weekend. I'm good. I'll just be a wimp and go to my regular concerts. None of the bands here are excuse me. None of the bands here make me want to stand in the desert for 3 days and smell like shit. I mean, there's a couple of things going on when I go to shows. After enjoying the music and enjoying the experience, checking out for chicks is like third or fourth. So what in case I'm checking out Beck on a Sunday and I smell like garbage because I haven't taken a real shower in 3 days? No. That's gross. Not about that life. Call me what you want. Unless someone's got a house in the desert, I'm probably not going to catch me at Coachella. And actually, I'll get over that in a special buying or not buying in a second. On the other side of the break, I'm gonna have a break, and we're gonna talk about that. So, what are the top bands to see, in your opinion, at this year's Coachella Music and Arts Festival? Does this festival announcement get you excited more for other festival announcements, or does it give you a peek into this year's festival happenings and make you say, does it make you do that? Because I don't know. Sometimes you see Coachella and you're like, okay, so Bonnaroo's gonna look like that. Like there's a bunch of articles floating around the internet. Coachella one day later. Do we need the reaction? The reaction to the lineup? Who cares? Who cares? So like based on this, you can start to say, okay, well, I think these bands are gonna play all the festivals. Not every band on Coachella's lineup is gonna play every festival this year. It's a fact. It's not gonna happen. But what is gonna happen is this is music journalist guy talking now. See, the reason why this is big news is because now all these bands they can start announcing tour dates, and they'll be in California this week, the week of April 11th through April 20th, the 2 weeks. They'll be in California around those times, playing your tour around them. So like if you want, like Outkast is going on tour now, and I'll share the tour dates with you on the notes. But Outkast didn't announce that tour until they announced Coachella. Do the replacements have dates? I don't think they have dates. I don't think the replacements have dates across America yet. They've only played a couple of festivals, probably do some warm-ups. But if the replacements came through New York City, I would definitely see them. Same thing if Queens of the Stone Age came back. See, last Queens of the Stone Age were here. I was at a wedding that night. I was at an engagement party that turned into a wedding that night. So I couldn't exactly see Queens of the Stone Age when they hit Barclays. But I wanted to. So I hope they put out a new album so they can tour again. Nas, I can probably go to Queens and see Nas. So yeah. So I'm gonna give you the top 5 acts that I'm gonna give you the top couple of acts that I want to see at Coachella. If I was to go to said festival, I am going to let you know if I still have a job, and we're going to have a special buying or not buying back after this. I'm sure you've thought to yourself many a times, how can I get myself in the middle of the J Porks podcast during his commercial break? Well, that's easy. You just hit up my email, jporks@gmail.com. Hit up the Deer Network at theandydeershow.com, at Deer Network on Twitter. hit Tyler Cale, hit Andy Deere, hit your friends, tell them to listen to the podcast, listen for free on iTunes. I'm officially recording my own commercials now. I like doing it. I could break the podcast into 2 separate parts, and I could do the Mike Francesa back after this. I can't do it. My voice is a little scratchy now. Excuse me. So, Coachella, that's what we're talking. And in a special edition of Buying or Not Buying, this week, I'm going to tell you, if I was able, let's just say I go to California, will I buy a ticket to Coachella? The answer is no. Not buying. And you know what the delay was? I have a sound effects app here. I got the drum roll in the beginning. You can clap. I've got that. I've got wolf whistle. I've got that. But I don't have cash register. And I think that that's so stupid not to have cash register on this app with 3, 6, 9, 20 sounds. 20 sounds, and not one of them is cha-ching. Anyway, so 2014 is not going to be the year that Jay Porks pops his Coachella cherry. If I do end up in California, it's just going to be to stalk Reverend Justito, follow him to work, hang out with his kid and his wife, and not work for a little while. That's just all it's going to be. Speaking of not working for a little while, for the past few weeks, there has been talks and discussions. You heard me talking about, I don't know who my boss is, how they might be closing the restaurant I work at, or I might not have this job for long. Well, that all came to the forefront on Friday. Friday, 6:38 p.m. I get the call that I, Jay Porks, am no longer needed at the establishment that I was slinging food at for 5 years. They decided to move in a different direction, and it's nothing personal, and it's nothing I did wrong, but they are choosing to relinquish me as an asset to their business. So, got a bunch of people going as a panini grill, wondering where Jay Porks is. He's home. He's bumming it, because he's got no job anymore. A lot of you ask, what are you going to do? Why do you seem so happy about it? Drugs. That's why. What am I going to do? I have no idea. I have no clue what I'm going to do. Do I want to go serve some food? No. Will I end up doing it? Probably. The plan right now is, just like I mentioned at the top, my dream to go to California. It's January. I'm waiting for the W-2. I get that W-2, I can enjoy a week or two without worry. I could have some money planned, pay some bills, and get my mind right, money right, ready for war. Memphilika's murder, I told you before. And I can prepare myself for another long year of having a sucky life. I can buy a new microphone for my podcast. I can figure out how to do the podcast on my new computer, my Dell Inspiron 15, instead of this netbook that I only use now to hit record. But yeah, so I'm unemployed. I'm like the rest of America. I've got no fucking job. I woke up Sunday morning, because Sunday morning I usually go to work. I'm usually on my way to work at 8:30, which is why I can't listen to Christina Rocks doing the old school alternative show. But I could listen now because I don't have a job. See, I'm not going to miss. It's not, and people say, what are you going to do without money? It's really not about, it's about the money, but it's not about the money. I can go work at fucking Target, I can go work at CVS, any of these places will hire me. But there were a couple of tables that I really liked having, that I enjoyed, making sure that they enjoyed their meal, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there was some girls I creeped on, that I was being a creepy creeper with. A lot of people, I tell them to put their food on Instagram, #AwesomeWaiter. I got the one family with the lemonade iced tea, and she gets a Positano salad, and she gets an S13 no bread, and the mom usually gets like chicken cutlet on a hero, and a soup or something, and the father usually starts with Sicilian meatballs, then he gets a Positano salad with fried chicken and sun-dried tomatoes, extra dressing on the side. He gets a double espresso, the mom gets a decaf tea, and the daughter gets a cappuccino with whipped cream. I mean, come on, am I really that bad at this job? That I'm naming random orders on my podcast? We get the two older ladies with the carafe of Chardonnay and the chicken franchise with vegetables on the side. I'm gonna miss them. I'm gonna miss Phil and his wife. Phil keeps telling me come over his house and check out his jukebox because he's packing it all up and he's getting rid of it. I'm gonna miss him. The lawyers on Friday. You know, I could have used those lawyers when I was losing my job to give me my options. The lawyers, we got this guy gets a Positano salad, no cheese, and a pasta vazzola lunch special. The guy next to him gets a house salad with the dressing capped on the side, oil and vinegar, and a pasta vazzola. And the other guy gets a pasta vazzola and a P5 on whole wheat. P5 is turkey caramelized onions and artichoke spread. And the other guy gets a regular Positano salad and a half P6. That's roast beef, provolone, and bruschetta. Now, true story, the sandwich is called the P6 because they have panini number 1 through 15. And I would go over, whenever I served the P6, I would go over and I would say to the table, getting twizzy in my ride like 3-6, who's feeling so fly like a P6? I really would. You gotta not want to kill yourself during the day more than one time, you know? And for those 3-4 hours a day, I had as much fun as I could. Like, what I need right now is a cappuccino machine in my living room to even out my life. Because, you know, when life's got me down, I'm just used to making a happy-faced cappuccino. And now I don't have that. And it's sad. And I'm going to miss my tables. Really. And a few employees that I didn't hate. But will I hate going across Staten Island every day to maybe make $30? No. Will I miss the inter-office politics that come in working in a restaurant owned by a couple? I will not. Are there some people there I won't miss? Absolutely. Are there some people that I'm glad I'll never see again? Absolutely. But the point is, I'm going to be home a lot more. So, a new segment called Tell Me Where to Go. I don't have a sound effect for it. I don't have one. I'm home all day. So if you got something for me to do that, you know, you want me to go in the city and check out, like, what I'm going to do this week, what I'm going to try to do is go check out the new Rough Trade in Williamsburg. I'll actually do that tomorrow if the weather's not bad. We'll go check out some record stores. Why not? So you hit me up. You tell me if there's something cool in New York that you want me to go check out, and I will. I'll bring my camera. Also, am I missing tour dates? Because usually I have fucking tickets to shows purchased. And I mean, it's not money now. I mean, it is money, but there's nothing going on. Nada Surf is playing at the Bell House. They're not going to play Popular. I mean, I'll go see them, but I mean, that's like a stretch. Nada Surf should be a band I'm seeing like the 22nd out of 25 shows I've seen in a year. Should be the throw-on show, the extra. It shouldn't be like I'm basing my 2014 around Nada Surf, so I'm not. And you know what it is? Like, a lot of tours, The Breeders, Childish Gambino, a lot of these tours that are happening now, I don't know what it is, but Manhattan Center's Hammerstein Ballroom has a lot of shows going on, and I hate that fucking place so much. I don't remember it being this popular a venue for artists to book. So I don't know. I'd love to see the Childish Gambino Deep Web tour, but he's playing at Hammerstein Ballroom, and I'm not. He played Terminal 5 2 years ago. Terminal 5 is a way better spot to play than Hammerstein Ballroom. Unless you're just basing it on location. Terminal 5 is in the fucking woods. It's in Hell's Kitchen. It's by a bunch of car dealerships, and nobody goes over there. I understand. And in March, we're going to go over the time I got arrested on my way to a show, on my way to see Cake at Terminal 5. We're gonna break down that whole block for you, that whole neighborhood, sometime in March. I don't know, whatever Monday coincides with the anniversary of that happening, I will let you know about it. But Terminal 5, great place to your show. People bitch about sound, people are losers. I've never had a problem with the sound. Saw Kasabian there. Saw Dinosaur Jr. there. White. 3 times. 3 times I've seen Dinosaur Jr. there. So that was the first time I saw the Meat Puppets was in Terminal 5. Who else did I see in Terminal 5? Hole? 2 nights? Hole is actually getting back together again. Real Hole. Not Courtney Love and a band calling themselves Hole. Courtney Love and Eric Edelson? You know who I'm talking about. There's rumblings that they might get together and tour this year. Which would be cool, I'll go see that. I'll go see that. But I mean, I can't, every concert I go to can't be a band from 1994 getting back together. So like, Force to the People, and like Queens of the Stone Age, bands like that need to start coming around to New York City. Like, let's see, like if I was to look at the Coachella lineup and pick 5 bands I'd want to see today, in no particular order, it would probably be Queens of the Stone Age, The Replacements, Cage the Elephant, Force to the People, and MGMT. And Motorhead, Motorhead and Beck, honorable mentions. And BDI. BDI if I feel like, I'm stoned. Because I hear that's what BDI's music is all about. I've only heard a few songs by them, so I can't outright judge them like Liam's brother does. AFI is gonna be cool. Miss Murda, I like that song. That song's cool. You know what I found out? There's a good Charlotte song I like. True Story. Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. Alright. Good Charlotte's not on that lineup. I just thought of them thinking of AFI, thinking of wussy, punky bands. And we're going to have a whole episode about that too. Let's pretend that every podcast is just planning future podcasts, because that's what it is. Nas. You know what's funny? What did Nas... Did Nas lose money gambling or something? I mean, I see Nas playing all the time. And he gets like no respect whatsoever. He gets the 3rd line at Coachella on Saturday in the middle. I mean, Pharrell's going to bring him on stage. This guy saved Summer Jam last year. Sleigh Bells, I know that would, our buddies, the Natural Stoner and the Slurry Baron, aka Mr. Sparkly, would enjoy that act. And I told you the Naked and Famous, my buddy Flo, who I've seen the Lemonheads with and Local H a couple times. I like meeting people at shows. They become my friends, because then we already like the same music. So, what's your homework for today, folks? Your homework is to find me a place to go in the city that is inexpensive to spend my day, because I have nothing to do. I am laid off. I don't know when that is going to end. I don't have an Xbox. I don't have a PS4. Is that even out yet? I don't know. Video games were cut from my budget a long time ago. There's nothing to do in this house. I hate these people. There is nothing going on here. Please, give me a reason to leave. Also, dear all bands that I have any knowledge about, please announce something so I can write about it for Antiquiet. I'm home all day. You know how many new articles are on Antiquiet since the new year and I haven't written any of them. Part of that is because the band's making news I don't know dick about, and I don't want to make myself look stupid. But come on, where is a Thurston Moore related band when I need it? Where is Chelsea Light moving? Where are the Meat Puppets? Where are some band that only I care about doing? Where's Bodyhead, Kim Gordon and Bill Nace? Where are they? Where are the Vaselines? Where are all the bands that only I cover? Because I would love to spread some love on Annie Quiet. Because they just reworked it. There's going to be tons of new stuff going up at Annie Quiet. And you should check it out. Speaking of tons of new stuff at Annie Quiet, there's an old thing at Annie Quiet. It was just, I was reading it a couple of days ago. I was in a really bad mood. And it made me no longer in a bad mood. It's the true story behind here we go. The full story behind our Chinese democracy leak. Once and for all, here's the complete story of how Jimmy Iovine's copy of Chinese democracy made it into my, Kevin Kugel, squirrel, hands, and everything that happened. It is written by Kevin Kugel, squirrel, who runs Annie Quiet right now. He somehow somebody gave him the Guns N' Roses Chinese democracy file, forwarded it to him, and then he was under investigation for the next couple of years by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the IRA. It is very entertaining. It is very long. You want to check it out, but it is lots of winning. Lots of oh well, you see why those laws don't exactly work type stuff. And you see why there will, and it's a great example of how there will always be free music on the internet. Even if it's Jimmy Iovine sending it to you himself. Or if it's not. Either way. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So, Annie Quiet, that's where you gotta go. That's your source for quality. All J-Pork's experiences are powered by Annie Quiet. You're going to go to concertconfessions.com for all your live music news and reviews. For fans, by fans. I swear someone will hit a show eventually. It's a tough time. Just give us a minute. Give me time. I'm going to make stuff happen. Trust me. I promise you. I don't break promises. It's going to happen. As soon as some decent band plays TV, plays on Fallon, or plays on Letterman, I'm going to bring it to you. Don't worry. Also, if I go see a show, it's going to be on concertconfessions.com. Also, all my esteemed colleagues at concertconfessions.com, somebody's got to be seeing the show eventually. They'll let me know, and I'll let you know. ChristinaRocks.com for Hang the DJ, The Time Warp, 89X, old school alternative every Sunday morning. Go to her website, ChristinaRocks.com, spelled without an H, and you can find a link where you can stream her show every Sunday morning. And there's probably a list of songs played there that you can hear, you can look at, and you can say, I really like this, or I really don't like this. Either one, you can do it. And I'll probably be Christina. I'll be listening now since I'm unemployed, so don't worry about it. You're gonna get me. Never a fear in Porkland. Also, theandydeershow.com. That's with the. Don't forget the. Theandydeershow.com. You can listen to me, all my archived podcasts, and my new default photo with my penguin hat. You could also listen to all 100+ episodes of the flagship show, The Andy Deer Show. And Andy Deer Andy's actually working on some guests for me, which will be good. I gotta learn how to interview people. So we could do that. You know who I'm gonna call? I'm gonna call Shannon Som, drummer for the Meat Puppets. I wouldn't say that if I wasn't absolutely sure that he'd agree, but I'm sure he's got 15 minutes not doing anything. I'll call him up, and he's so full of knowledge. He's like, his head is like a sponge. His father's Doug Som from the Sir Douglas Quintet and the Texas Tornadoes, and he's also one of the rare members of Meat Puppets now and Meat Puppets past. He's been in the Meat Puppets as long as since Chris wasn't it. Since they were a four-piece in 2001, I think. He drummed for a little while there. And then when they came back in 2006, 2007, they brought Ted Marcus out, and Shannon was overlooked for a little while. But he is back. He's in the mix. He's hitting the skins. He's killing it. They cover his song or two by his father almost nightly. So you check that out. They'll probably... I haven't heard of any date. They're playing Australia. Oops. That's a secret. But they are doing that this year in the summer, I believe. They're coming to a land down under. And they will, I guarantee that they will autograph any Vegemite sandwich you have to give to them. I promise you. So there's all that. And then there's more. I'm out of things. I'm out of things to say. What can I tell you? I'm casting a pod. So until next week, where I will hopefully have a lot more stuff to talk about with you, I want you to indulge in the 3 W's, my friend. Whiskey, weed, Warren Zevon. Late.
This has been the J Porks Experience. Thank you so much for listening.